Recorded shows, that's one of the benefits. All right, in 3, 2, 1. Welcome in. It's the PAWSitively Petland Show, AM 800 KXIC, KXIC.com. Check out our podcast page. You can catch up on old episodes if you want. Look for your breed. We go through a different breed of the week every week. This week it's the Doberman Pinscher. We'll talk about that coming up here in just a little bit. But first, we have a special guest here on the air with us who is riding across the country for 3 great reasons. And we appreciate Jan Gierlach taking some time out of his day and a busy schedule he has. It's ridefor3reasons.org, ridefor3reasons.org. Jan Gierlach just graduated early in December, and he did so he could have some time to do something that he's passionate about. We'll bring in Ron here first. Ron, you've known Jan for a long time, right?
Yeah, since he was born. I'm a friend of his father's. I grew up with his father from a wee little age, and we've been in contact all these years. And Ed, my buddy that I grew up with, Ed texted me a few weeks ago and says, "Hey, you might want to know what Jan's doing," and started looking into it. And I was like, "Holy cow!" Well, one, Jan grew up. He went from a little boy to a big boy now. And he's got his big boy pants on for sure, because you got to migrate. If you're on a computer or on your phone right now, I want you to migrate to ridefor3reasons.org. 3 is the numeral 3. Page through this while you're listening to this interview, because you're going to go, holy cow. Wow, how did that happen? Yeah. And how did he get engaged? So it's a really, really cool story, and he's going to tell you about it now.
And as I was talking about, when I was a senior, I was going to Cancun, chasing girls. I didn't really think about giving back to the community, and I now that I think back, kind of regret maybe I should have used some of that young youth and inspiration to do good, like Jan.
Well, I have a story that relates with Jan, and I was telling him about it last night, and that his grandfather, I graduated early from high school as well. Uh-huh. And I was over at their house, and Jan's grandfather, but I was Jan's age at that time. And he said, Mr. Gierlach said, "Hey, what are you going to do now that you're graduating early?" And I said, "Well, I'm just going to bum. I'm just going to hang out. I'm going to maybe get a job or something." And he really kind of sternly said, "No, you're not." He goes, "Don't do it." And it was that whole pregnant pause thing. Yeah. And I'm like, what's this all about? And he goes, "I did that, and I never went back, and I don't want you to do that.
Don't waste your time."
And so now, in retrospect, I'm hearing Jan or listening to Jan, and I'm like, wow, I should have done something like that.
Well, let's bring him in. Jan Gierlach's on the phone with us. Jan, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good.
I'm calling you guys from Quartzsite, Arizona, from the picnic table that I slept on last night.
Yeah.
And I'm in the process of I'm riding solo and self-supported across the United States. My route is San Diego, California to St. Augustine, Florida, and I'm riding to support three causes very near and dear to my heart: cancer, ALS, and hospice.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so the organizations that are going to be reciprocating the funds that we've raised so far and have yet to raise, the Larry Cancer Center, ALS, Les Turner, and Journey Care National Hospice. So 3 just really awesome organizations. I've in the case of cancer and ALS, the funds have been restricted exclusively to research, and I've met with these researchers, and they're just doing some groundbreaking work, and a lot of people are going to be impacted by it. So in the case of hospice, the funds have been allocated for an outreach program to get more people involved in hospice and in care sooner. So just some really great work going on by these 3 organizations, and just very honored to be able to support them in a small way. So,
well, it's fantastic that you're doing this. Again, it's ridefor3reasons.org to donate. You can donate today online if you'd like to help support Jan and his goal. Raised over $600,000 to this point, but certainly want to keep that going. All the funds are going to help out those organizations. And just a cool idea. And from what we wanted to know about is, where'd this come from? How did you come up with the idea to do this? Tell us a little bit on that, if you could.
Absolutely. So the founder of A Ride for Three Reasons, founded the organization back in 2001. So he's a resident from my hometown of Barrington, Illinois. And he, from the course of 2001 to 2012, has done 3 solo self-supported bike rides and circled the perimeter of the U.S., riding for these exact same 3 reasons and organizations. And in 2007, so what would have been his second ride, he went and gave a presentation to my 3rd grade class, and he talked about the ride and the causes behind them. And ever since then, it all just really stuck with me. And that was, at 9 years old, that was my first encounter with the idea of a solo bike ride and a solo journey like that. And since then, I went on to be involved, in competitive cycling, racing mountain bikes, and that kind of thing. That was the sport that I did growing up. So, getting to my junior year of high school, getting really serious about this idea that I'd had for so long, I kind of sat down and, figured out, how am I going to do this? What are the logistics of it? Sat down with my guidance counselor, figured out how I was going to graduate early. And then I just really wanted, being a competitive cyclist, I'd done things like races that, gone on long rides, but, bike packing, touring, it's a completely, different kind of thing from just going out for a one-day ride and getting to come back to your home and take a nice hot shower and relax. It's a completely different kind of thing, and I knew that. So I remembered Bob Lee, the founder of A Ride for Three Reasons, from that presentation he gave from so many years ago. And I reached out to him, just kind of asking about the logistics of doing a cross-country ride. Knowing that he had done 3 successfully, I knew he would be a wealth of knowledge and a great resource. So that was how our conversation began, was just really focusing on the logistics of how do I do this. And, from those initial dialogues, the conversation evolved into, considering whether or not to do a solo bike ride with kind of more, with a grandiose or more important mission behind it than just going on a bike ride and possibly making a difference for a lot of other people. So it started with that, and then, having the personal connections to these 3 organizations. Ron was just talking about my grandfather. He passed of lung cancer, unfortunately. A dear family friend, I've lost to ALS, and then in my grandmother's final days, I can still remember, how helpful and amazing hospice was, helping my family deal with that burden. So, just some 3 great organizations and some causes that are very near and dear to my heart.
Well, it's fantastic that you're doing this. We certainly wish you the best of luck and a healthy and safe ride on this journey of yours. It's just getting underway. Well, now, in full disclosure, we recorded this on Thursday. This is airing on Sunday, so you've likely made it a little further by Sunday, which is great. And you're going to continue on in this quest, and something that you'll be making memories for years to come, and also helping out so many people. And we certainly appreciate you taking some time out of your journey. Ron, do you have any other questions? Anything you want to ask?
Oh,
Jan?
if you got it, I always like to hear the stories. If you wanted to follow along with Jan on his website, that ridefor3reasons.org, you can see his, a blog, and he gives you a kind of a day by day what's going on, and it is quite unique and adventurous. And he does, Jan, you have a writing gift. That's something you've practiced, haven't you? Because that writing is about way above board.
Well, yeah, thank you. It's something I've always enjoyed. It's something I write and take photos for work. So yeah, it's something I got a little bit of practice at, and I really enjoy doing it. And I love just kind of sharing the experience, because it has been just so crazy and so unique, and I've enjoyed it so much. So yeah, I would encourage, your viewers too, to check out the website, ridefor3reasons.org. And also we have a presence on social media under the same tag. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram. I know it's a pretty constant stream of updates for those of you who enjoy photos. I've gotten some, I've spent a night stranded in the desert and gotten some really cool photos of the sunrise and the sand dunes. So I'm always posting, photos and that kind of thing and that kind of content to those media outlets as well. So yeah, I just encourage your viewers to check those out as well.
All right.
Awesome.
Good deal. Well, we appreciate it again. It's ride43, the number 3reasons.org. They're setting out to help out great organizations. Cancer, ALS, and hospice are all going to benefit from Jan and his efforts. So help him out. Check out that website. Donate if you can. And I assume you can donate in different increments, right? If people want to give you $10, they can do that, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Check out ride43reasons.org. Jan Gierlach's been our guest. Best of luck. Take care. That's Jan Gierlach joining us here this morning, and that's that we're on the Positively Petland show right now. But a little sidetrack from our normal programming, but for a great cause and someone that Ron knew as a baby and now has seen him grow up to be a bright young man. That's the kind of kid that you just know is going to do something great. I mean, imagine when he's sitting down for a job interview and it's him and another candidate, and he can talk about this ride that he did, taking time out of his life as a young man. I mean, that's amazing and an inspiration to so many. So thanks to Jan Gierlach for joining us. We will do the amazing pet story of the week real quickly here.
You could not.
It's
I
time
couldn't.
for the amazing.
I love it.
Story
Thank
of
you,
the
big
week.
voice guy, and we appreciate you stopping by. But I got to go to Idaho for this story. When I saw it, I thought, and in full disclosure, this is my last Positively Petland show with Ron as well. This is I'm going to be leaving the station, as will be announced here. So I did want to just let our listeners know I've appreciated doing the show with you, Ron. But that's the last big voice guy too, probably, unless Mark continues doing it. But
He was crying like he came in and
yeah,
got out pretty quick.
I know we've had a rough and tumble relationship over the years because he's caused some issues.
He's gonna miss you. Holy cow!
Yeah.
That was he
Right.
bolted.
He's gone. But we're leaving with a good one too here too. Going to Idaho, a trusty pet squirrel foils a burglary, and this is Idaho. Now, no guard dog here. Adam Pearl said he knew something was wrong. He came home from being out, and he noticed footprints in the snow behind his house. I know we're all thinking, snow, what the heck is that, right? We haven't seen that.
I don't know what's going on this winter.
Yeah, but so he sees the snow print, the footprints in the snow, so he thinks, uh-oh, what's wrong? Well, he goes in his house, he notices there's scratches on his gun safe, he notices a few items are gone, and his little rodent pet, he has a pet squirrel, was scurrying around. The police officer shows up, and she was startled by the squirrel, and he said, oh, don't worry about, that's Joey. The squirrel's name is Joey, by the way. So they go on investigating the case. They end up questioning a suspect who had scratches all over his hands and his face. And they went on to question. They found out that it matched the squirrel's scratches. And they found out that the squirrel attacked the man when he came in the house, scratched his hand, scratched his face, went after this individual, and they made the arrest. So thanks to Joey the squirrel, the arrest was made and the burglar was caught. You can't make this stuff up. In Idaho, the squirrel saves the day. All right, so that's the amazing pet story of the week. Coming back, we're going to talk to Ron about the breed of the week, right?
Yes, the Doberman Pinscher.
Not related to the miniature pinscher.
Exactly. Well, we're going to see why they look the same, but there's some that they're not a direct relationship.
Do you have a Doberman Pinscher puppy?
We do.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of rare.
Rarely.
Okay, Ruggy. We'll be right back with more after this on AM 800 KXIC. 800 KXIC Morning Host Jay Capron with Ron Salzer. What are we going to talk about this week on the show, Ron?
We are going to listen to an amazing story from Jan Gierlach, who is riding for 3 reasons. And we're going to find out what those are. And then we're going to go research the Doberman Pinscher. Is that the right breed for you? And then your pet, dental care. What am I supposed to do? I'm messing up all over the place.
That's all right. We'll start again. In 3, 2, 1. 800 KXIC Morning Host Jay Capron with Ron Salzberg from Petland of Iowa City. What are we going to talk about this week on the show, Ron?
We are going to hear from an amazing young man on his ride for 3reasons.org.
All the way across the country.
Yes. And then the Doberman Pinscher, is that the right breed for you? And then we're going to discover, what am I supposed to do about pet dental care? We're going to figure that out.
That's the Positively Petland Show, Sunday mornings at 9 on KXIC. You did that easy enough that I can edit it.
We're going to figure that out. We're going to figure that dental care. We're going to figure that out. That's supposed to do about pet dental care. We're going to figure that out. Discover, what am I supposed to do about pet dental care? We're going to figure that out.
That's the Positively Petland Show. Three, two, one. Welcome back. It's the Positively Petland Show, 800 KXIC, KXIC.com. Ron Salzer here with Petland of Iowa City. Jan Gierlach joining us earlier. What a great story. Ride for 3reasons.org. Yes, org. Ride for 3reasons.org with the number 3 in there. Check it out. Go support Jan Gierlach. And we're going to continue on with the show with the Doberman Pinscher. Tell us about it, Ron.
All right. So you had started off the Doberman Pinscher, which is not related directly to the miniature pinscher. A little factoid is the miniature pinscher was actually developed 100 years before the Doberman Pinscher. So, but we're going to find out through the description of a Doberman Pinscher, why do they look so similar? So in the last decade of the 1800s, Louis Doberman, there's something, a night watchman, tax collector, and dog catcher for the city of Apolda in Thüringen, Germany, began his quest to breed dogs to accompany him in the thankless and dangerous task of collecting taxes. Most of his earliest crosses were with mixed breed dogs. However, 2 definite purebred crosses took place. The first was in northern Germany was black and tan terriers, later called Manchesters, were used with the Dobermans. The second cross was the black greyhound. Okay, so this is where the tie-in comes. Why do they look somewhat similar? Well, they got that black and tan, in this case from Manchesters. In miniature pinschers, it was from the Dachshund. But the greyhound, so the miniature greyhound was used for the miniature pinscher, and then these are standard greyhounds that were used for the larger size Doberman Pinscher. So that was the black greyhound. These crosses produced a smoother coat with a different distribution of body mass and different bones. Additional crosses with the old German Shepherd, German Pinscher, Weimaraner, and Rottweiler combined qualities of ruggedness, intelligence, physical and mental soundness, quick responses, bravery, and reliable guarding ability. This combination contributed to the only working dog breed to be a human companion. And I want to get that last part on there because everybody looks at that Doberman Pinscher and says, yeah. And I understand that, they definitely are a bigger breed, but they were always designed to be a human companion. Although Louis Doberman was looking for some other help along with his tax collecting. I like that story. The lineage of the first German imports into the United States were occurring around World War I. They did not survive in modern bloodlines, though. However, 5 outstanding individuals imported before World War II became the basis of the modern breed in the United States. It was not until 1922 that approximately 100 Dobermans were registered yearly. But by 1934, the number increased to over 1,000. Excuse me, I had to get that out. So that is a little bit of the history. From its inception, the Doberman Pinscher was always been a cropped and docked breed. I know some people out there, there's two sides to that story. Some people out there are right now going, that's not right. That's, augmentation and stuff like that. And then just realize, we're in America. There's actually two really strong opinions on that. The other one says, no, we need to preserve that breed and what it was all about and all that kind of stuff. And both of them have some interesting points to bring out. Of medium size and clean cut appearance, the dog at first glance does not give evidence of his great muscular power. So compact is his structure, so dense the laying on of muscle under the short coat, and so elegant and well chiseled the outline that the novice would probably underestimate the weight by 15 to 20 pounds. Not saying that they are 15 to 20, they're going to be off by that much. Weight is the only particular, however, in which Doberman is deceptive. His qualities of alertness, agility, muscularity, and strong, solid temperament stand patient for any eye to see, from the strong muzzle and blunt, wedge-shaped head to the clearly defined stifle. I'm sorry, I don't know that word. The outline is definite, and sharply etched. He is an honest dog, not camouflaged by superfluous. I can't
Superfluous?
Yeah, I couldn't get the word out. Coat. Okay, so that's enough. So the Doberman Pinscher, is that the right breed for you? I saw there was a lot of interesting things about there. Elegant, pretty strong, confident in its stature, very muscular. So this one is going to have some activity to it. And I have found over the years a very trainable dog. So, is the Doberman the right breed for you? I don't think this is going to be one of those, like, happy-go-lucky, let's just, type pets in the house. I think this one is going to be a pet with a purpose, is going to be really good with the family, but it's going to have that noble, elegant type stature about it. And so large breed, shedding for sure. And since it's a large breed, you're going to probably see some of the shed. The only benefit there, though, is it's a short fur, short coat, and so it's not going to be these long hairs laying around the house. It's going to be a lot of short hair laying around the house. So with all that, is the Doberman the right breed for you? We have one in the store. You can come on in, learn more about it, history, how it acts, reacts, and all that, and see if it's the right pet for your family.
I've seen some beautiful shiny coats on Doberman.
Yeah. You get the nutrition right, black, especially on these breeds, and they just shine. You can probably see yourself in that coat.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is nutrition, as you've pointed out in the past. All right, so that's the Doberman Pinscher. That is the breed of the week. And onward we move. What if that Doberman or your other dog, which most likely for all the listeners out there, their dog is experiencing problems, right?
Little smelling from the old mouth kind of thing.
Yeah, isn't the statistics that most pet owners' dogs do have some sort of...
Yeah, by age 3, and that's what we covered, 2 weeks ago, that your cat and dog have periodontal disease. It's like 80 to 90% of them have this by the age of 3.
So most likely, listeners, your dog or cat has it, right?
And so, real briefly, what is the ramifications of it? You can go for everything from bad breath. And we're talking bad breath. And so if your dog hey, I smell that. It's on the cusp or already has periodontal disease, but what stage is it in? You then can get into tooth decay, tooth loss. In more extreme, if you don't take care of it, you're then going to start getting into internal issues. Heart and different components of the dog and cat will then start to suffer. And if you think about it, that's just like us. If we don't take care of our teeth, same kind of thing starts happening. The way it does this is one is plaque buildup on the teeth. Then that plaque buildup starts propagating underneath the gum line. Bacteria then start hiding out into this porous surface, really cultivating. That's when you start getting the smell, and then it just keeps on going from there. So how do we prevent, reduce all of this? Oh, of course, if you're in that extreme situation, make sure you talk with your dentist about your veterinarian about it. If you have some problems, talk with your dentist. Talk with your veterinarian about it, because they're going to get in there, get you, assess it, get you back to square one, so that you can easier or more easily maintain it. And then if there is some correction that they need to do, then they're going to work with you on that. So with those dogs that, hey, I want to do something with my dog right now, the first step is hard kibble. And we've talked about this over the years, and that hard kibble is your number one way for great dental care for both your dog and your cat. I was going to say it's similar to us as well. If you are just eating mushy food, your teeth will actually propagate out. If you eat those hard foods, that's what keeps them stable in your mouth. So same thing with your dog. Then there is a little bit of abrasion that occurs to keep the plaque down at a minimum. Now, all dogs are different, just like we are all different. I, in fact, at my house have one dog that is a plaque producer and one that kind of is mildly plaque producing, kind of on an average kind of thing. So hard kibble is their number one. And then I start following it up with other things. So I can get treats that are going to be more on the hard side. So that helps them out. I can go into the greenies. These were one of the first dental care products ever invented. They had a little bit, if you're one of those that said, well, I heard some bad things about greenies a long time ago. And I think we're now like 6 or 7, 8 or more years ago. I might have even, I'd have to look the history up on that one. They came out with the first one, and they had a little bit of an issue with the design of it, and they had to redesign it. It is the most engineered for safety and for dental care product on the market. I got to see the videos and all that of how they did it, and I was like shocked at how much they put into this treat. It's flexible, it's dissolvable. There's a concern in the past about a choking hazard. Well, that would be for every treat for your dog. So you always want to make sure that you understand, is this going to be a gulpable thing and all that? Well, the greenie is actually dissolvable, so it addresses that. And then it has products in it that will help with that plaque buildup and all that to help prevent that from happening. So greenies are a great thing to add. They always say do a 7-day trial. You do 1 greenie a day, and you're going to notice that the breath is going to start going away over that time. And then they encourage you to keep on that 1 greenie a day. I'm going to then say, hey, you can now decrease the amount of food that you're feeding your dog, because this is a complete nutrition product on top of it. So it's a really interesting product on how they've designed it. I actually feed that to our dachshund, and we had to decrease the food as a result. Callie actually started getting a little fat, and we were like scratching our heads. Where is she packing this weight on from? And then we read the package and found out, this is really high in protein and all that. It's good for them and all that. So we decreased the amount on there. Now, getting on to the next product. This is one that I don't think many people even know about. You've heard about the ones and maybe even tried the fluids that you can put in their water, and that's going to help prevent it, similar to what the greenies is doing, as far as there's a product in there that helps prevent calcium buildup on the teeth. But now there's this gel, and then you can get it in a spray form as well, that you can put it in the jowls, or spray it in the jowls. And this stuff actually over time takes away the calcium buildup. So it's taking away the source of all that bacteria. And we have found that if your dog has really bad breath, I always just say, hey, I'm going to just guess at this point, I'm not a dentist or a veterinarian, that can diagnose that. But you probably have some issues going here. So use this gel or the spray version to get in there, start dissolving that, and you're going to notice that bad breath goes away really, really quickly. So within that first treatment, the breath goes away. Don't stop now. Keep on going. It's a 30-day treatment. And the way I do it with my own dogs, I have that one plaque producer. So about every 3 months, I do 30 days of this product. And I let Susie eat. I let her drink. She ends up running outside and doing her business and everything on her routine in the morning. I put her water bowl then up on a counter for the next 30 minutes. When Susie comes back in, I go, Susie, got a treat. And she comes running over, and I give her a squirt in each of the jowls. If I'm using the spray, I just pull the jowl back a little bit. a spray right into the teeth there. And then I let her work on that for the next 30 minutes. If I find that she's got a lot of plaque buildup on there, I use a toothbrush and actually spray a little bit on the toothbrush. I don't make a big deal about this, so I am done brushing her teeth within about 10 seconds. I do this double-sided toothbrushes that are out there and go in there, and I brush, top, bottom, other side, top, bottom, and I'm about done in that amount of time. So if you find that you're struggling with this, come on into Petland and we'll show you how to do this. Sometimes it's a little more difficult at the beginning, and we say, hey, don't go crazy, just do one side or something so your dog starts getting used to you doing this. Don't make a big deal so that your dog goes, I hate that when you do that. I remember my kids, and I think at the beginning with Susie, and this is probably 6 years ago when I started doing it with Susie. I remember with Andrew brushing his teeth, and maybe you remember, I don't know if you could do it with Jack. You ever have to sit on Jack's chest in order to brush his teeth?
No, I haven't got there yet.
Oh, you're beyond that phase already. But
he's never really fought it too much, but I could see why a kid, if they don't want to do it, it's going to be hard to do.
Yeah, and Andrew, oh gosh, he'd yell at you, and you go, when's the last time you brushed your teeth? I could see it on your front teeth. And he's like, just today. And I go, okay, we're going to show you how to brush your teeth again. And then he'd laugh because we'd make it funny and all that. I'd be sitting on his chest. Well, there is a little bit of that for some dogs as well on doing it. I do push on their jowls with my forefinger and my thumb. I use their cheek right towards the back of their jaw, and I push in. And I don't push in very hard. This should be, once you know the technique, it's actually really simple. I don't know if there's a pressure point thing going on here or what, but I just push in and their jaw just pops right open. So if you're having problems with this, come on in. We'll show you the technique to do this. Now you got their jaw open, and that's when you can start getting your toothbrush in there and doing a little work. Over time, if you don't make this into a task, and by the way, when you put this on the toothbrush, the product, it's a treat for them. So they go, oh, they're licking it the whole time you're doing it. So you do it and you start working at it. Okay, getting back to it. That's the gel, the spray. The reason why I use a toothbrush, it goes quicker. Now, let's say you go, hey, I've tried that. I am not doing it. Don't worry about it. Just keep on going. It's going to still do its job. Might take a little longer to get to that, back down to the base of the tooth and all that. But that's fine. Just keep on going. Don't make this something that you don't want to do. Make it something that you go, wow, I want to do it because the breath is good. I'm seeing some results on that plaque going away now. It's a restorative product. So come into the store. We'll show you the gel and the spray. You determine which one's going to best fit you. They both are going to do the job really, really well. And that breath goes away today. So I even, if I'm between treatments and I'm not doing it, we got guests coming over, I don't even smell either one of the dog's breath. I just squirt this stuff right into their teeth so that when the guests are playing with the dog, they don't have that, oh, wow, that's nasty.
So they'll lick it and stuff because they like the taste?
Yeah. And my dogs, at the beginning, I did have to hold their head a little bit because they're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Kind of a thing. But it wasn't a big deal ever. They tend to like the taste of it. So they're just trying to figure out what you're doing at the beginning. And then once they get the taste in there, they're like, oh, okay.
That's not so bad.
Yeah, I'm good with that. And then they kind of walk around licking their chops, kind of a thing. So, and then after 30 minutes, bring the water bowl back down. And then that allows them to rinse everything out and all that kind of stuff. So it's a really, really good product for that. And then what I do, getting back to long-term for Susie, because she is a plaque producer. If we didn't do this, every year she would, more than every year, would have to have her teeth cleaned. We're able to go for literally 6 years now because of this. Using this product, we're keeping her teeth really, really good. The breath is not bad. She's not having to go under anesthesia for that teeth cleaning and all that kind of a thing. So it's a lot easier on the dog as a result. And then we have just generally really good breath dog and a really good hygiene dog. And we don't have any of that periodontal disease stuff going on in either one of our dogs. I supplement all of this, going back to that water bowl and putting a supplement in the water bowl. there's various products that you can put in the water bowl to help prevent plaque buildup. I would say they're mildly good, but there's still a preventative for us, and it does. I do see some results as from putting it in the water. I do like there's a concentrated version now that Tropiclean has out, and it's just a much smaller bottle. It literally can fit in the palm of your hand, and you just squirt it right into the water bowl. So it's a really nice product, easy one to use. I just fill the I actually squirt it in the bottom of the bowl, fill up the bowl, it mixes it all up, put it right down. At the beginning, I noticed that my dogs were like, "What's this? It smells different. It tastes different." But then they, got used to it and drank and all that kind of stuff and never had a problem after that. So these are ways you can help with your dog and cat with periodontal disease. Just assume they're going to get it because 80% of them do. And now you've got a preventative. And this is very similar to us. Why do you brush your own teeth? Well, to stop that stuff from happening on ours. This is a really easy way to work with your dog and cat in the same way.
That's Ron Salzer with Petland of Iowa City. We have just a little bit more time left. Anything else you want to mention?
No.
We're done.
I'm okay. No.
You always have something more.
We always have something. Let's see here. We could go, what's going on in the store, throughout the store. We're getting ready for a remodel later on this year. So you're breaking news. So you're going to see different things going on throughout the store throughout this year. It's going to be fall when we actually get it done. But some neat things that we're spicing up here and there. One is the breed selection that you see in our store. We have a really good breed selection, but we have searched out to other breeders, and it parallels with last week's topic, and that is the Purdue project called caninecarecertified.org. It is a stamp of approval that Purdue is releasing later this year, but they're in the field already working with breeders. And this now has opened the door so that we're finding more and more breeders that are canine care certified. And I'm looking for more selections, like we're talking about the Doberman Pinscher. We haven't had a Doberman Pinscher in our store for a long time. And so we're searching out different breeders that are looking to get canine care certified. Canine care certified is something for you, the consumer out there, to know from, and it's a third party. Purdue is actually the one that is auditing these breeders. And they're going to then give them the stamp of approval. This is something that we're advocating for and promoting to help you understand who are the good breeders out there that you really want to support. So that's one thing that's going on. We've got in our reptile department right now, you got to come in and see our veiled chameleon. Have you and Jack, Jay, come in and held the reptiles? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Have you been in the last couple of days? No. You got to see this veiled chameleon. Even Wendy, my wife, who is not a reptile person, came home and said, "Oh my gosh, that was a phenomenal chameleon." So come in and just experience the different pets that we have in the store. The chameleon is something that I was a reptile kid, and it I must have gotten it out of my system. I'm more of a fish person, dog and cat kind of person right now. But this veiled chameleon, man, it makes you like go, that is really cool, really nice to handle, docile and everything like that. But it's a really colorful one, and that's what's the wow factor there. So check that out. If you haven't seen our fish department lately, Tom back there is really doing it up in that he is putting on the tanks different characteristics of what this fish is from, what are the best conditions you can do it under. He's really ramping up our plant selection so you can have a planted tank, which is all the rage right now. Wouldn't you like to have a centerpiece in your family room or living room or your children's room or your room? Small tank, really beautiful plants growing into it, a couple of fish in there swimming around, real tranquil, something you can kind of ponder at while you're going to bed or something like that. That's how cool these things are. So check out what Tom is doing. I got Carl and Lisa back there as well. Lisa is a go-getter. You want to have a great experience back there, talk with Lisa. She works on the weekend. She loves to work with families on setting tanks up, whether it's in the reptile section or in that fish section or even a hamster. She's all about these small things in the store. So check out our new employees that back there and see what's the right pet for you. And then bunnies, we're coming into that season, and it definitely bunnies come in and go out really quickly. So check out our bunny selections while they last.
All right. Thanks, Ron. We appreciate it. For Ron Salstrud, I'm Jay Capron for the last time here for the PAWSitively Petland Show. Ron will be continuing the show with Mark, and they'll continue to bring you great information, great pets. Ron, it's been a blast.
So long, Jay. I've had a blast as well.
Me too. All right. That's it. We're out of time. We'll be back with more sports radio here throughout the weekend, and Ron will be back next week with Mark. Bye.